there are elements of this cat mask that I want people to be able to take advantage of when they purchase it and they're going to use it. All right. So if you're using this for 3D printing, this video is not really relevant for you. If you're using it because you want to render it in whatever you render for, then yeah, this video is for you. The Fractal Cat Mask has 12 different shaders or surfaces rather that you can take advantage of. I mean, if you were to export the Fractal Cat Mask out of Studio into Maya, into Blender, or 3ds Max or what have you, it would leave an export via FBX format with 12 material zones, matte zones. So that's also something to take into consideration if you're exporting this out elsewhere, right? If you're sending it over to like Unreal Engine, you have all of those material zones that you could take advantage of too. So this video is also relevant to you too. So in a nutshell, there are several sectors here or areas of the anatomy of the Fractal Cat Mask. There's the center area. So we're going to go over here so that I could show you a little bit better as to what's up here. And I'm going to melt my computer on purpose. I don't care anymore. So I'm going to do it while live previewing in Iray, just because I prefer to look at things in a final format. So this area that's white now, that's center. So let's just Control Z that right quick. We go over to ears. As you can tell, visually you see those surfaces pertain to the ears. If we go over to face and we do the same thing, you could see where this is going. And then lastly, we have borders up here, and you could tell why those are called border. Now, as you can see, I got this one mask and I split it up into 4 areas that creates the anatomy of this mask. And then each one of those areas is divided up into 3 individual topological features per se, right? Because let's just get out of Iray Preview for a moment and get in here right quick. As you can tell, this is not just one-sided geometry. This is double-sided geometry. There's a front, there's a back, and there's a middle to every piece here. So, you know, this was a treat to sculpt and then later 3D model and clean up primarily. Like, this was a treat to clean up and retopologize. And I'm saying that in a way that I know that 3D artists that 3D model for a living understand that must have been a mission, Parallax. And yeah, it was a mission. So with that said, each one of these different topological features that makes up this mask also has its own individual surface too. So that means you got 12 different surfaces going on here. So that means you can really take advantage of this mask in so many different ways. It's complicated in design and it's complicated also. How about this? Let's not use the word complicated. Let's just say it has a lot of detail, okay? And one of the many details that it has, aside from design, is in the way that you can add shaders to it or add materials to it, right? So again, just to reiterate at this point, it has UVs, and I am a nerd for UVs. Trust me, if you go and download any of my other work on DAZ through my store, which is the only place where you could purchase any of my 3D assets, and you look at my UV work, you could tell that your boy has skills in every regard of 3D modeling. But this particular mask was never meant to have UVs. The UVs that it does have are purely supplemental. They're just there just to complete the pipeline and close the circle, so to speak. So these surfaces here are mainly just for you to take advantage of them with shaders that are like gems, crystals, and of course your metallic shaders as well. If you have like pearl shaders, if you're not using shaders, or if you just want to change the base color, you could just change the base color to what you want as well. And you could do it in so many varied ways. So I'll give you those examples by just showing you the 9 Iray material presets that the Fractal Mask comes with. So yeah, that's not a coincidence. I was trying to be cute there. Cats have 9 lives. This also has, the Fractal Cat Mask has 9 Iray material presets. So that's why I priced it a little bit higher than what I usually do with some of these smaller projects that I have, because there's work put into this on many levels. So if we select the Fractal Cat Mask as we have, we could click on the first one. The first one's called Black Cat. I mean, you could say that I'm kind of like tipping my hat to Marvel Comics there. But it's just Black Cat. Just, you know, whatever. It just sounded cool. So as you can tell, it turns everything black, right? And so this goes well with pretty much any type of theme or any type of character, right? Because what's cool about the Fractal Cat Mask is that you could use it in sci-fi themes. You could use it in like futuristic cyberpunk type of techie themes as well, because you know all those hard surfaces there that make up this mask. It's super dope for anything that's like sci-fi or tech or cyberpunk, right? Or you could use it to like adorn some kind of medieval princess or something of the sort or character and make it all look like glass or crystals, right? So it's very unique in the fact that it's very malleable, artistically speaking. Now, let's move on to the next. Okay, so this is default. Default is essentially just black front and back topological features, with the middle being gold, as you can see. Okay, so this one's called Feline Royalty. I have fun in all of this, by the way, and I name all of these, and I have fun coming up with names. This one's really cool. So we've got like a silver metal on the outside, and then we've got this really cool gold borders. So this is usually when I like kind of like I go from being very verbose to just like because it looks cool to me. So I go I mean, I made this and designed it and developed it over the span of a week, but I don't get bored of looking at it. And so that one's Feline Royalty. The next one is Gold Crystal. So if you're So you must be at the point where you're noticing that's why he would add 12 different By the way, was it a mission to create all those additional surfaces and kind of like segregate them and organize them in the fashion that I did? Yes, it was. Just because I should subscribe to the channel, because it was a mission. But it pays off, as you can see by these. The Fractal Cat Mask, you don't even have to render it. It looks cool. But the moment you render it, oh my God. So that one's the gold crystal preset. So let's check out gold material. This is just straight up gold. Beautiful. And then this was called iCat. iCat is just, you know, just white. The minimalist, kind of like techie, very, very like, I don't know, just techie. Feel me? And it looks cool, right? The next one is called Neon Glitter. So this is my favorite one, mainly because I had the idea in my head as to what I wanted, like one of the material presets that I wanted to create. Or the shader preset, however you want to refer to this as. I had the idea in my head. I was just like, you know, the emissive properties in Iray can be a little, how could I say this? I could say it as limited, visually kind of limited, because sometimes it's just like, it really doesn't come off as like neon or emissive surfaces as you would see it in other CGI kind of packages and whatnot and rendering engines. So it's like, if it's emissive, you see that it's an emissive surface, and you kind of sometimes don't want emissive surfaces to look emissive. You want them to look like neons, like that have like that kind of like translucency to them and whatnot. So I knew that that was going to be somewhat of a challenge that I was going to come across, because it's kind of like a pet peeve of mine with Iray. But there's other render engines that have that kind of like, I guess, lighting challenge to them or whatnot. And I pat myself on the back. I really render a lot. I spend thousands of hours of rendering. If you go to my website, you can see all the artwork that I have there, and you can see that this is something that I leave nothing on the table when it comes to rendering. So with that said, I was like, I really want to create this type of like metallic surface that looks like it has glitter. and then that has neon. So it's like totally something you would see in Cyberpunk 2077 in like one of the gentlemen's club that's in Night City, right? And, and straight up, I think I did it, and it looks great, right? So like, where's the glitter part? Parallax. All right, calm down. I'm showing you. I'm showing you. So if we zoom in, you could see that there are flakes there that I took advantage of the metallic flakes feature that iRay has and these shaders have to kind of get that glitter going. And it worked out. I'm happy with it. It worked out. And then, of course, I only added the emissive properties to the back part of the ears and also of the borders. And I think it came out good. So we could go to like environment, and we could turn off, we could set this to scene only, and you can get a better look as to what's going on there, right? And then maybe let's turn up our bloom. See what we got. There we go. So you get something really nice. It looks cool. So let me just go ahead and control my Z out of there. Control Z my way out of here. All right, and go back to the original setup. There we go. Cool. So that one's neon glitter. The next one is called Neon Crush, because it just, I don't know, not crush as in like, oh my God, she's my crush, as in crush as in like, it reminded me of like, kind of like that drink, that soda that's called Crush or something like that. Just kind of like the saturation of the actual drink. I don't know. It's the way my brain thinks. If you feel me, you feel me. If you don't, you don't. So this one for sure. Let's turn off bloom for a second here. And then let's go to tone mapping. Let's go to our saturation and bring this down to like 1.5. We get a better understanding of what's going on here. So this one just reminds me also of like toys, doesn't it? Like it looks cool, right? And I kind of went with that. I was like, I really like all these different colors and how they complement each other. And it just reminds me of like toys from like the 80s and 90s. And I went with that. And I added the emissive property to it. And it came out really cool. I like how it came out. And so that one's called Neon Crush. And the last one is Red Crystal. And if you look at a lot of the jewelry that I design, veils, headdresses, tiaras, crowns, etc., you know that you could tell that I have an eye, or at least a fascination with all that glitters, and one of those being like diamonds and gems and whatnot. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to do here, and I like how it came out. It's a really good combination. This product was designed for Genesis 9, but I did add a wearable preset that when you click on that one, it'll automatically adjust to the height difference between Genesis 9 and Genesis 8.1. Okay. If you're going to use the Fractal Cat Mask on like Genesis 3 or even on male characters, then that's where you would select it in your scene, go over to parameters, and take advantage of these that I have here. So these are straightforward, not overwhelming. Let's see, hat, forward, backward, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and so as you can tell, we have here, you can adjust the depth of the mask itself, the height, right? Because not everybody is shaped the same, the width. And then, of course, if you need to position it on the head differently, which might be the case, but maybe like Genesis 3, I don't remember. I think that Genesis 3 and Genesis 8 are the same height. But if your character's just shorter, or you need adjustments, to make adjustments, you can. It's there too, you know? So forward, backward. Sorry, it's hurting my little character here. Up, down, same thing. And then this is the only rigging I did. It's crazy, right? Because it's funny, like if you look at all of my other designs, all of my jewelry, like you're like, damn, Parallax sometimes puts like 400 to 500 bones on some of these designs that he develops. This one has one bone. It's a record for me, but like a record, but like in reverse. Instead of how many more I can put or the max number I've reached this time. It's like, this one has the least amount. So it has one bone. That one bone serves the purpose of allowing you to do this. Okay. So the purpose of that, again, this has to do with different head sizes. And also this allows you the ability to adjust it according to the nose too, because sometimes your nose may be out. Like your character may have a large, small nose, the forehead may protrude, it might not protrude. So being able to use the tilt back and forward dial allows you to work around different facial features and landmarks that might vary, right? So I put thought into that. And this one bone solves all those problems in conjunction with going in here, using these two, and perhaps using these. And as you can see, if I tilt it back, this could accommodate a character with a large nose. If I kind of like bring it back, you could immediately see how now this would accommodate a character that has a large nose, right? And so that one bone is an incredible bone, and that's what it's there for. And that's it. That's the Fractal Cat Mask. Now, just very, very quick, she's wearing, what is she wearing? She's wearing some of my latest products, okay? So she's wearing the awesome D-Force snake jacket. I'm not gonna lie. This snake jacket that I made here, I made this immediately after I had just finished like a whole slew of courses in cinematic asset production, and which is a pipeline you use for cinematics and also film and then kind of cutscenes in video games and whatnot. And this jacket was kind of like the result of when I finished those classes. And you know, you get the cool snake back here. The blue light is kind of like messing things up for us there, but it's all good. It's like that because the blue outline looks nice in the background. But anyways, so the jacket that she's wearing is the D-Force snake jacket. It's available via my DAS 3D store. If you see this jacket available elsewhere, it was stolen, plain and simple. And the pants that she's wearing here are part of the Adaria attire. And then I'll put something up on the screen here and post that so you can see how it's spelled. Outfit that I made for Genesis 9 as well. You can see it has nice little sculpts. Everything that I do now has just high poly details that I've sculpted and baked down. But whatever, this is not about those clothes, but I'm just letting you know that's where they came from. They're not included with the Fractal Cat Mask. So a nice little combo here that I like. And this is just so that I could, I guess, satisfy my artistic mind. This is a really cool combination here. Just like this white setup here. I like it. It looks cool. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching my video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can choose not to. This channel that I have here, I upload videos that are specific to what I develop and what I create. So if that interests you, then the subscribe button is there for that. And that's pretty much it. Thanks. Later. Peace.